with Carlos Sainz making a mistake that brought down safety car in the late stage of the race, with everyone already pitted and now restart is on what is going to happen the next 4 laps.
High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Here we are back for another episode of the Austrian Grand Prix. We all are now getting ready to go out and, try to maximise the result we possibly can. But towards the expectation, it still tries to be on the podium. We spend a lot of time trying to fix things up in the practice section, tries to be quicker, that is the main goal. But in the 2-1, pretty much very normal 2-1, apart from the exit of Eugene Tonona. Eugene Tonona is now sliding a little bit that the battle for the Red Bull City, that they're home Longford in a way, and now in 2-2, another shot at the again from Lando Norris in P14 with Alex Albon in P13. So obviously the big 20 point in Lando Norris. It's a bit of a shameful one happened to him in Canada, but of course he recovers some point. But the likes of George Russell and Charles Leclerc are starting to catch up to Piastri and Lando Norris. But here the performance is hard. Big jump from the half, jumped right close to the top 5 in the performances. That is pretty impressive. I wonder what kind of turnaround the half is now going to get when they going into Austria Grand Prix. We've seen fantastic qualifying performances from Paul Albon in Canada, but will that continue on? No, so of course it's Tim Trautman in Tuesday, not Albon. So let's see where Tim Trautman is going to be. But speaking of seeing where, George Russell has just crossed the line to start P7, but she'll got another chance to go out on a brand new soft tyre and have a look at Tim Trautman, 4th place at the moment, but the second one is now getting ready to go underway. We are in a very reasonable time, 7/10 of about to enter into 8/10 of. We've got purple section 1, which clearly show we are stronger in section 1. Section 2, not so quite, and we now going to cross the line, and we're going to move up into P4 behind Ollie Behrman, and once again Charles Leclerc is back and qualified on the pole position, made it back to back pole right now for Charles Leclerc.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Behrman, Russell, Tim Tramnitz and Sainz, Lawson, Gasly, Bortoletto and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Crawford, Ocon, Alex Albon and Norris, Doohan, Hulkenberg, Franco Colapinto and Yuki Tsunoda, Aaron, Maloney, Pepe Marti and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish. But let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Big pressure at the start of the race, Crofty, for all of them up and down the grid, no matter where you are. But the drivers these days, They practice, practice, and practice. They have rigs with them at the circuit where they can sit down with the actual steering wheel from the real car, and they've got lights that they react to. The clutch paddle is tailored around the driver's hands, around their fingers, so they can have optimum position before they start. So there's so much thought and effort that goes into getting these cars off the line.
Here we are, the Austrian Grand Prix now, getting ready to go underway. We have taught a think about strategy too. We have taught medium to hard top one-shot strategy, and you can see we have changed the fun win and Liam win the practice section of this shooting like it was 21 to 19. We locked it quite significantly down in 17-15. And I'd say it helps a lot, but of course we need to find the balance, especially when we have the high speed taller that we like to be able to go like, without any problem whatsoever, you know what I mean? But of course I like to quickly shout out to Tim Trantley, P5, brilliant job on the qualifying performance from this young man, German as well, with of course I know was a German fan, but very pleased about Tim Trantley actually might get a chance for the podium, but of course he needs to be able to live, lead and drill up against like I'm not sure who's the multiple late winner, Simon Piatti and the world champion Charles Leclerc. But the 5 red light is now getting ready to go underway with Charles Leclerc getting off a pretty very well. But Piatti, you get the best one as he headed down the inside. Can he take the lead? No, he does not. And sure, was it now joy side by side with Ollie Behrman coming up into turn 3. And it seems like Behrman is gonna put some pressure, but I'm not sure. He's gonna keep pushing as much as he can, and we have to try and just hold it off as much as we can. And it seems like we're going to take the 3rd place from Ollie Behrman, which is good, but now can we maintain it and start chasing down the top 2 and just behind it on the exit of the Loudon corner we got Lando Norris joining on the outside of Esteban Ocon, but onto the straight with Ollie Behrman now joining down the inside of George Russell, and of course being on the outside who get the advantage, but you get more back to line to go on the good exit compared to one on the inside taking the tighter turn who needs a quick car to be able to beat someone on the outside, and obviously Behrman is not in the quick car compared to George Russell on the outside line, but the fight still continues going into lap 2, and Behrman has the overtaken up and backed himself into P3 with George Russell falling back into P4. We got Carlos Sainz, P5, Trantley, P6, Gasly, P7, Attielli, P8, Lawson, P9, Broughton Lacto in P10, of course, Russell teammate Alex Albon. We want to see him get into the positive tour. We want to take the advantage of the McLaren, not having both drivers in point and Albon, the close one to it. So if Albon can get in, I'll be very happy about that. But back on the slate again, we can see Carlos Sainz try to put pressure, but the pressure is not really that good enough. And we got 4 cars battling it all out as they're going down the slate, which is one of my favourite parts of the track. It's a long, smoother, staying in, you overtake everywhere you possibly can. And we can see Lando eyeing for the move, but he's still managed to stick it with Alex Albon, and that means Bortolacco real tired, not worried about Alex Albon, but of course he's in a fight with Liam Lawson, and Lawson defended who played really well. Albon did the same thing, defended well, but far forward again to such a final tournament once again. Lawson and Bortolacco are battling, and Bortolacco has beaten Liam Lawson on the outside, and Albon came out of nowhere and went for the double overtake on Lawson and Bortolacco. We've seen Lawson try to go for the move, but as we noted, Albon, he backed out, which is a smart driving from Liam Lawson, but that was a very good move from Alex Albon, sending it with a double overtake with a very easy one, which of course allowed Lando Norris to follow by into P10 with Bortolacco dropping 2 plays and Lawson dropping replays unfortunately, and the fight is continuing in lap 4 until such a final tour, and once again Trantley defender against the Carlos Sainz, trying his best to stay ahead and finish the top 5, which of course be the highest finish for the team this season. It should be third last race in Canada for Albon, but there were no match against the short loss, and of course the pit stops did go well for the Haas in the Canada. But in lap 5, Carlos Sainz, Pierre Gasly had just overtaken Trautmann, and now Trautmann is going to start to another fighting again, with Carlos Sainz defending him and trying to attack Pierre Gasly at the same time, and Lando Norris had just overtaken Alex Albon, but then Lando dipped back and got more fighting going on with Attielli. It now overtaken Carlos Sainz and Albon the overtake for the P9 once again, but then Lando Norris dipped back in at the enter into lap 6. Lando on the inside, but it's Albon on the outside. They're still fairly close with each other, but Albon is more superior in that position and stays ahead. And behind it, we've got the fight with Toro Pito, who were battling with Liam Lawson, which you can see lopped another place down to P13, and Esteban Ocon overtaken Lawson up to P12. And we're looking down further, it's pretty much very normal. The Audi is still sluttering in the Formula 1, and we're now on the slate with Lando Norris coming back at Alex Albon, but then Albon defense on the outside, again, like I said, got more advantage. You need to be quicker cars to beat on the inside, which is what Lando managed to do. To be fair, Lando with more easier ahead than Alex Albon, so it wouldn't work out for Lando, but Albon not giving up, it's coming back on the outside, and the overtake for the P9 once again as we now enter into lap 8 on board with Russell. We have not spoken too much about him right now, and that's because he's been stuck behind on a bam, had a bit of a snap on the exit, which of course you can see Gasly is rapidly catching up, but you can't overtake very easily. You can make it work, but you have to understand Russell is not going to make space that easily, and Russell got right close to Oliver, and you can see why that's such a one in Russell bitter strength, but his weakness in this loud and taller, because he cannot really try to get the best traction coming out of a taller with the throttle, which you can see Gasly is now coming up, but he couldn't quite get the move done, and of course Trautmann invited himself in and tried to pull back Gasly quite a bit, which you can see Russell in the distance has gone ahead and overtaken Ollie Behrman to put himself back into the podium spot, but 7 seconds behind the Piastri and about 10 seconds behind the Leclerc, the leader. Of course, the top 2 is driving brilliantly, and now Russell has pulled away from Behrman, which allowed Gasly to open up all the possibility for overtaking, which he's done just now onto the second final corner before the slate had ordered to be done right now, with Trautmann, who could be the next one to overtake Ollie Behrman, and it seems like the pace is starting falling away from Ollie Behrman, which is really unfortunate, and we're looking into someone to car ahead in the distance. The band Ocon has just gone up for track with, I believe, it's a mechanical failure he had, unfortunately, and out of the race, and it seems like there's no neither to tour out any safety car what's or not, so it seems like the race is still continuing on. But Gasly has caught back up to Russell, which means the battle is going to go on between Gasly and Short Russell. But Ollie Behrman, who's of course not time Trautmann, who by the way will be joining into the fight for the podium as he got close to Gasly enough for the DRO. Which, speaking of DRO, Gasly now on the inside of Short Russell, can Russell defend it? Yes, that gave so much space, and as you can see, far superior on the outside line compared to the inside line, which you can see Trautmann is now trying to stand around the outside to fight against Gasly. We've got the live timer going on with multiple fighting going on now with Attielli overtaking Ollie Behrman and Trautmann overtaking Gasly, and now will Chadwick be able to beat Sean Russell or not? Bam, coming back at Timmy at the yellow, and it seems like not gonna be easy at Bam and return back to her of at yellow. There was a small minimal contact, but very tough race, which we all love to see, don't we? But yeah, he has lots of players to track me without even notice. To be honest, I completely forgot he overtook him before the final tour of Bardem. I forgot to mention that, or did I mention that? I've forgotten. But it doesn't matter. Track me back on the slate. It now just go ahead and get the DR and start to make an overtake on Russell. But what can Russell do? Can he defend or not? And it looks like he can. Sure, Russell continue being a very, very good at defending. It doesn't matter who it is in the car, he will always defend the absolute best at the time. He does it all the time last season against the likes of Max Verstappen, who were the iconic one between Russell and him. Always not racing, and it's always a delight to watch. And yeah, in the time back to head of Chapman at the yellow, and Oliver and continue fighting, and Albon have just overtaken Carlos Sainz, spacing himself away from Lando Norris, which is good, it's what we need. And now Jack, unfortunately, back on the straight in lap 12, he tried to get them moving inside, but again, Jack doesn't learn his lesson. You can't make an overtaking work on the inside. You need to be in the quicker car, clearly from Norris isn't. But doesn't matter because Jack had managed to find a gap. But again, didn't work out. Russell continue putting the door closed on to Daphne, which is what's out in his favour, and we are watching more fun to join up. We've got Lando just overtaking Carlos Sainz, former teammate, but they're still going side by side. Can Lando Norris nip it ahead? It looks like he does. Lando is now up into P9, making a very good progress, but not good at Albon for sure. And now doing the final corner, we've got Chapman on the outside of Pierre Gasly, and he made him what? And overtook him, and they are now doing side by side, going to lap 15, 10 Chapman, maintain the P4. It seems like he does, and Gasly had a pretty horrific exit, which did not just help him out at all. And now on board with Charles and Piastri going to lap 16. 13 seconds, 14 seconds now actually, 14 seconds from Piastri from Russell, and Russell, by the way, has gone into the pit, but we are now doing an early pit stop at heading into lap 16, not lap 15, lap 16 by the way. So we were supposed to stop about 2 laps later, but we decided to stop early and hoping that having the tyre that warm, but it's a hard tyre, nothing wrong, really easy like in the first lap, but to warm it up and then take the advantage of it and be able to beat anyone who comes down on a hard tyre and head of it, and hoping that will help us to catch Piastri and Charles Leclerc, which not going to be possible, I think so, but Damon Only, who's in P17 by the way, have got nothing on Shaw, Russell, and that of course, but it's a tyre anyway, but it doesn't matter. Tatiana, who scored the 3rd point in Formula 1 with Liam Lawson and Barlow, they're falling apart again. I mean, just like Audi, there's nothing we can talk about on their situation. And speaking of situation, Dahlin has just gone ahead and the overtake for the P3 on Chapman out the final corner, but heading to lap 17, Chapman is not going to give up, but unfortunately he was stuck on the inside lap, which is always a very hard play to try and overtake a car that's on the outside. But we've got some cars coming in, like a Piastri, like an Oliver just coming, so we're going to see where they all going to come out and see what our pace will be like against them on a hard tire. We've got side in and bottom up toe, by the way, and Russell has just gone ahead of Oliver. Wasn't so close, but it could be really bad if Oliver made a mistake on the pit exit, which will of course not take out Russell, and you cannot imagine what tired of Andon Russell have, and Jack doing spun, and Russell Jack managed to avoid it. Oh my god, a good reaction from sure Russell avoiding Jack doing what a mistake that Jack doing may have been. He had over accelerate on the taller, but that mistake has cost Russell at a lot times to Bearman, but still remaining ahead. But now, between that fight, might continue on. What is going to happen as he's going into lap 18? But here's a replay of Jack doing mistake as you can see, spun the car, Russell reacted and just was on board Tam of sure Russell as you can see, Jack doing spin, Russell moved, of course he had time to react, but I think Russell was a little bit slow because he was hoping to take the inside, but I saw Jack Dumont going down to the inside, Russell had to back out and joining out down, which might be the reason why he lost a bit of a time, and I think someone had to slow stop, and we got Albert coming out in P6, but can he put himself behind Russell or not? The track mate in P5, Bearman, P4, Russell, P3 and Alex Albon had tapped himself ahead of Carlos Sainz. It's the P6 for Alex Albon and where's Gasly? Gasly down P12, have you lost so much playtime? It did replay to the show where Gasly, I say here is the replay of Gasly. Mistake, so it was a slow stop, it was a slow stop for Gasly and he had to wait a lot longer for 2 cars to go. No, that is very unfortunate. So he went from bad to worse, and that's why Gasly knocked out the P12. Maybe Gasly is not putting it on the hand and starts chasing down and trying to reclaim his place into P5, and Bearman had just overtaken George Russell and he made it what on the inside. Of course, he had much more clearer, pace and the overtake for the P3 very easily, but it didn't end there as George Russell did a try and the overtake the plate back onto the straight, which at the same time, Bortolacco and Carlos Sainz are having a battle of their own as well, which means they got no chance of catching for the podium because Albon had pulled away, so Albon could be joining very soon, and forgot to mention Bearman had the overtaken George Russell going to third quarter in lap 19, so Russell would like to do another battle once again, but we're on board with Tim Chartney because what I'm rating he is doing right now, he is doing a fantastic job. I mean, it's very good to see the hat going on the rise, but I'm told not having the best driver, but Tim Chartney is showing the flashes, which is pretty good work from Chartney as he's trying to catch Russell, but of course Russell had much more better car compared to Tim Chartney, and of course speaking of Tim Chartney, his teammate Paul Albon is down P16, is going to be really frustrated for the hash not having both drivers employed, and Russell has just sent it down the inside and overtaken Bearman for the P3, but as we go into lap 20 on the exit of Loudon Taller, I am back with Bearman overtaking George Russell, and Russell does do something, but Chartney out of nowhere sent down the outside and boxed it out George Russell, but Tim Russell fired it way back and looks like he might just manage to do it. He slipped one, slipped two, and he's just gone ahead and overtaken for the P3 and forcing Bearman and Chartney had to go back to a fantastic overtake from Russell. That showed photo from what Russell will be able to do, and he made it work. Fantastic job, and don't forget, he was on the inside, proving to a point that you need to be a quick car on the inside to make it work, but unfortunately Bearman returned back ahead of George Russell and Albon. Now trying to get new or trying to make on the inside, but he's going side by side. Both have got DRI, who is going to be the first one to come out on top, and it seems like Albon is that first one as it now promotes himself up into P5. But in lap 22, we got Bortolacco and Gasly are having a fight of their own, and Alex Albon into lap 23 has overtaken George Russell, and the live time and still show Bortolacco and Pierre Gasly having a fight, and Gasly have moved up into P9. He's recovering some points now, which is true. And Carlos Sainz on the late stage of lap 23 has overtaken Troutman. Tim Troutman, defend or not, seems like he's not. Carlos Sainz is now ahead of Tim, and Tim is now to be leading another place than Lando Norris very soon. I will talk to Peter, who is holding on to everything to try and keep that P10, and unfortunately going to lap 26. We got Lando Norris on the inside of Troutman, and it seems like still fine side by side, but Troutman had managed to keep himself ahead of Lando Norris. But at the far forward to the Loudon taller, we got George Russell, who is watching, and Albon just doing what he does, but he's pretty good more from Albon, going out of 2-2, 25 P13, and putting himself in the 10th tender for the P3, and Russell, of course, feeling a bit of pressure. He wanted to make sure he beat his teammate, which is what he needs to try to figure out, what he can do to make it more. And Albon just overtaken Ollie Behrman, and now Russell to do the same thing very soon, and Lando is now ahead of Troutman, P7 for Lando Norris. Another fantastic recovery life from Lando Norris, but now before the final tour of George Russell to the centre out the outside and overtake Ollie Behrman, and now Russell to start putting his hands down onto Alex Albon to try and get that P3, and we've got Carlos Sainz, who is catching up to Ollie Behrman. Carlos Sainz well put himself into top 5 in this race. We've got Gasly in P8, Troutman knocked another play into P9, very unfortunate for the Troutman, but now in lap 29, Sainz is dashing up to Ollie Behrman to try to overtake, but he made a mistake. Carlos Sainz spun and he crashed into the wall on the exit of turn 1, but in turn 1, and he got a broken wheel, and he now safely car. Oh, that is such a shame for Carlos Sainz. He was going to be able to put a fight to Ollie Behrman, but that mistake that Carlos Sainz made, I think he got on too quickly and he just smashed into the wall. But now, lap 32, about to go into 33 bars, my safety car has now gone in. The race is now on for the win. The tour, and we got Piastri set in place, Charles P1, we got multiple laps of car in between what is gonna go down, as Charles Leclerc has splashed away already, and George Russell, here he goes through on the inside of Alex Albon. He caught Alex Albon napping, and he made it, and almost went in the back of the Audi, and Russell is rapidly gone through to start his shakedown on the Piastri. But George Russell do this, what we want to see, a chance for the win is on the table, but haven't got much laps to go, and it's lap 32, not 33. I hadn't won my bad, and we can see the Audi is pulling over to let everybody know it's just a shame seeing Audi being that bad, to be honest with you. And Alex Albon just try to get back ahead of George Russell, but that is not happening. And Russell is going to start his chase onto the Piastri. You can get him, we all know that, as he got one lap to start ahead of him, which I believe is Jack D1. I believe it is Jack D1, as it's now going to go through lap to Jack D1, and now start chasing the Piastri within one section right now. If he can make it more in the section 1, that would be perfect. And now it's lap 34. I was right, we were on lap 33. I got confused because the lap to tar my bad. And now in lap 34, the Piastri now losing time to Charles Leclerc, and George Russell had caught back up to the Piastri, and Albon unfortunately to have Lando Norris behind him. What is going to happen? Can Albon defend Lando Norris, but we're back on board with George Russell, who's of course we mentioned in the beginning, his weakness is the Loudon tour. He always had a bad exit on that one, but what can he do now? Of course, sector 1 and 3, he's stunned, but sector 2, it's not. It's going to be a very difficult one to try and make it work. But let's see what might happen at Lando Norris got the Diana of Alex Albon. We sure not even helping Albon. Not sure it's fixed on trying to be at the Piastri to the his championship is also on the line as well, and track mate unfortunately it's impeding, and Lando Norris has just overall bit snapped, but Lando Norris managed to control it. He didn't do the same thing as Carlos Sainz did. He managed to react quicker and he held on to the P4 despite that snap, and Alex Albon is losing time. What is going on with Alex Albon? But let's get back on to Russell as we're coming back into an exit of Loudon Corner, and as you can see, he just doesn't have the traction on the exit, which is not very helpful. But on board with the leader, Charles Leclerc. I believe he has a laptop car behind him, if I'm right about that. Yes, he does. And I don't know who that is. I think that is William, so that will be Hadjar, or was it Liam Lawson? I can't quite see right now. And we got the last timing of Ollie Behrman is now overtaking Alex Albon. Albon pace is falling down now, and that is not good for the team as we enter the final lap of the race, with Charles Leclerc leading, and he's still fairly quick, but George Russell is a lot closer this time around. He needs to aid the Loudon Corner if he wants to be at the Piastri for the second place. Come on, George Russell, and let's see what we'll be able to do at the Piastri. Doing a fantastic job holding it well, not letting pressure get into him. And we all know, let's say, safety car always brings something out of you, the nerve or the focus. It's always one of those two things, and it seems like Piastri hasn't got a nerve, he got the focus, and he still managed to stay ahead of George Russell. And the last chance, the Diana is now on for George Russell, but the distance is too far back. He's not gonna make it, and Charles Leclerc is now into the final corner. Charles Leclerc has won the Austrian Grand Prix, made it back-to-back officially for him from Canada to Austria, and George Russell finished on a P3 after a fantastic overtake on Alex Albon. This is when he taught himself out for napping, and that allowed Russell to beat him into it. That's the fair game, I say, a fair game.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, you know, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
And it's time for that special moment for our special 3 today. The podium awaits our top 3 finishers. And that is a fabulous win. And the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc.
Well done to Charles Leclerc. I mean, this gentleman who lived brilliantly led every single lap, who cannot make it up. But Charles Leclerc, maybe his hunt for the championship is back on the table. 43 points for George Russell behind Lando, and Charles 63 points. And unfortunately, McLaren ascended further in the construction by 102 points to Brittany Motorsport. I need Albon to be on the top of his game right now. He needs to be on the top of his game. But, nevertheless, it was a fantastic return journey from Canada to Austria. Second place Canada, third place in Austria. Got no to play. But I'm gonna end it now, and I'll see you in the next one. So thanks for watching. Please like and just like my video. Do I appreciate it, and peace out.